Hey Mark,
What's up, y'all?
how you doing?
Good, thanks. How you doing? Hey, guys, what's
Yeah.
up?
How's life for you over with the quarantine, coronavirus?
Yeah, pretty good. Usual shit here. I don't think anything much has changed in what I'm doing. So, yeah, it's pretty much the same over here.
Yeah, it's not really affected you guys over there much.
It is though. I just, I don't know. I don't know. There's so many conspiracy theories about that COVID shit. Who the fuck knows what's the truth these days? Is everyone fucking lying these days? Who knows, man? Crazy.
Yeah, drinking disinfectant to get rid of it, maybe if you're following the advice of the president.
I don't know which president you're talking about though.
Of Trump, mate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
he
know
was
that.
recorded basically saying about if you drink disinfectant, then there's signs of it helping, and yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous.
Well, who knows what it is? I mean, the guy fucking employs guys like Dana White and Vince McMahon. I mean, to restart the economy or some bullshit. That just goes to show how stupid he is. Fucking hell. What's
Yeah,
wrong with it?
we'll get on to that
As
as
if, as
well.
if, as if those guys are going to fucking restart their economy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, dear. What's actually? Do you know what it takes? What's your thoughts on the whole Dana White setting up an island for the next UFC event and stuff?
I don't really support the UFC or watch their show anymore either. So I think the truth is, I think the truth is, I mean, I mean, I don't know. I don't watch the rubbish anyway. So
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, so what I wanted to do was just quickly talk about your history, really, starting all the way back from the beginning. And just how did you get started in martial arts? How did it all find you, or you find it, and when?
I was outside a nightclub and I got caught up in an altercation and then ended up um, being saved from being arrested by the cops, by the bouncer. And so he became my first trainer. And I was doing Muay Thai in that same nightclub called DTM's. It was called Don't Tell Mamas in
Yeah.
Karanga Happy Road in New Zealand. And then that's when I had my first fight after 4 days. So I did my first Muay Thai fight there in Auckland. I think I was 18 or 16 or something, like one of the two. It was a while ago.
How did you feel? I mean, 4 days, 4 days. How did you feel stepping in first time? Nervous?
Yeah, it was kind of really strange, to be honest. It went from because that was a nightclub I went to. Was it a nightclub, and then it ended up being an arena to fight in. They had the Muay Thai ring in the middle of it, and I was like, whoa, all these people. I think it seemed like a lot of people there, but it was probably only about 150, 200 people in there. To be honest, maybe I don't know how much that place could have fitted, but it felt like a lot of people. It was quite nerve wracking to start with because, but I didn't feel the nerves until I actually walked out there, and I was like, "This, there's all these people there. They're all looking at me,
Yeah, all
and they
staring at
want my
me.
black ass to get beaten up." But no, it was quite good because my trainer Sam, he was the guy that was his show, so all his boys were on it. So I was one of his guys, which was good.
Pressure? Did
So
you feel the
they were
pressure or
there.
not really?
There's no pressure. They were just there to support me or
Yeah,
support the gym, Sam Masters gym. So which was pretty cool.
yeah.
Great
And then
guy.
that led you
Loved him.
into a career in K1, right?
Well, it led me into fighting. That was my first fight, and I just fought, and that's it. Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
yeah.
how did you throughout your professional career? How did you find dealing with the nerves and the mental side of fighting? It's not really a bit that's spoke about a lot, but
It,
how did you find that? Did it affect you? Did it not affect you?
it does. It affects everyone. It's hard, and it's even worse when you don't have a proper training camp or you're not ready. I mean, but the nerves will always affect you. Everyone. If it doesn't affect you, you must be a robot or something. Because we're all human and stuff, and people try to say, but I think you got to try and use those nerves to your advantage. You try to turn those to you to benefit you. Otherwise, they'll hinder you in every way possible. So I think it's always been 80% mental,
Hmm.
the fight business, and that's pretty much how I did a lot of my career with the mind. So it's it is nerve-wracking, but you got to use those nerves.
Yeah. And who were you training out of or training with then throughout most of your K1 career?
It varied, to be honest. It varied. I trained. I had my first, I think, 8 fights with Sam, and then I think oh, actually, probably more. Um, I can't remember, but I cruised over to Australia. I moved over to Australia. I think I was 21, and then I actually just used fighting as a way to make ends meet, just to make some money to feed myself and pay rent and shit. Sometimes I'll do the fight just to pay my rent, and I actually started being a looking into it properly when I won my first tournament. It was the first K1 Oceania tournament in Australia. So yeah, if you won the tournament, and I was actually just lucky to be put in there. I was staying with a lady named was Lucy Tui, and we won $10,000 at the first K1 tournament in the Oceania region. And I made more money in that, and I think it was 23 minutes. Then I did working 6 months at my job, but I was actually just a laborer at a pharmaceutical factory. And then I won that one. Then I fought in the worlds, and I lost to Hoost, I think it was. And then I won the next year, 2002. Sorry, 2001, Oceania. Then I went on to win the world title that year, and became a professional fighter, and got signed to the K1 banner.
Mm.
Yeah.
How was your training at that time? How often were you training? Because obviously you said you were working as well. So how were you
Yeah, it was
balancing
hard
that?
because it was hard because I started my day at 4:30. I trained, and then I went and walked to work because I didn't have a car. I worked just about it was a few kilometers down the road. I went and worked, and then I went and trained again in the city. So I started my day at 4:30, and I had to because I didn't have a car. I walked to work, then I had to catch the bus and the ferry across to the city. Then I had to catch the train to the gym. Then I had to do the reverse thing all the way back. So I did that 5 days of the week. And Saturday I just trained once in the daytime. So I trained, and that's it. So yeah.
And then one day, did you just decide that's it? I'm not going to be working anymore. I'm just going to train
Well,
full time and compete.
I won the Oceania for the second time, and I like I said, I made more money competing. And I said, oh well, I put a lot of effort into training because I worked a full 8 hours plus I trained twice a day, and I didn't have a car, so my day started at 4:30 and finished at 10:30 at night time because of all this travel.
Mm.
And I I I I said to my boss if I could work half a day and still train. So I worked half a day, and then I actually won the world title. And then I just decided to quit and put all my time into it. Had
Nice.
a proper work contract, and just started fighting from then on. So from 2001, I was a professional fighter. At 27 years of age, I'd won the world title. So yeah, a bit
Awesome.
late, but still,
Mate,
never.
there's a lot of people in the world who can never say that sentence, so it doesn't really matter how old you are, does it really? So you've
Well, yeah,
achieved
well,
something so amazing.
from my side of the world, I'm the only one that's ever won it, which is pretty good. Yeah.
There you go. Um, what sticking with just the K1 career for a second, what would you say was your favourite fight in your K1 history?
My favorite fight was realizing that these guys were. I saw them on TV and everything. I think it was just. I think a lot of the fights were. I think the 2001 world title was the best competition for me because I won the world title. But it was I put in. I was still smoking and drinking at that stage, but I stopped for 8 weeks. I stopped for 8 weeks, and I'd put in a proper training hard camp, and then I won the world title. So it was probably that year. It was
Yeah,
a great year for me. After that, money came around into my life, and I just fell off the board and started getting shit managers. Well, I mean, I got ripped off my first contract when I had my manager. So I think the fight wasn't actually the fighting in the ring that was what ruined me. I think it was the battle outside
the
of the ring.
battle outside.
Yeah, trying to get the right managers ripping you off, trying to not fall in the holes all the time. It's a hard
Yeah.
thing, especially when no one else has guided you through it or told you how to do it.
Did you ever toy up with the idea of managing yourself, or just not something you would have done?
Well, I'm managing myself. Like I said, I was green to the business, so I have no idea. I didn't even want to be a pro fighter. I just used fighting as a way to make ends meet. and I actually became um, I was good at it. I knew I was good at it, but I didn't think there was an end to it.
Yeah,
But and then actually seeing K1 and winning the K1, I was like, oh wow! So these guys aren't that great. They're great fighters, but they're like everyone else. You can still beat them. So
yeah.
that's when I realized, yeah, I'm part of this A list of fighters, which is kind of funny for a short, chubby guy. You know, he didn't even want to fight, to be honest. So yeah.
And after winning that world title, and like you say, being the only person from your side of the world to do that, mentally, how did that make you feel?
I didn't really look at it like that. I just looked at it as, oh wow, I got all this money. What am I gonna do from it? I had a proper job as a pro fighter, and like I said, I didn't even. Yeah, it wasn't something I was just it was something I used to make ends meet. But I was able to buy my parents a place. Like I said, money comes in, and you start being cheated a lot from different people. Um, but yeah, I think just trying to stay focused with the right thing to do with it.
Mm,
And it's taken a long, long, long time. Over 3 decades, I think I've been fighting now.
yeah.
2 decades as a professional, which is pretty good. I'm 46, and I still feel like I'm a lot better than a lot of the guys now.
Well, yeah, your longevity.
Just,
Yeah, you got a good longevity there, mate.
it's quite funny, to be honest, yeah, because the game doesn't last long for everyone, to be honest. And
No.
I've had a long run, and I'm still going. I think it's crazy, even though I haven't fought for like nearly 3 years.
And
Crazy.
you looking to make a comeback? I read somewhere you're looking to potentially make a comeback. Is that correct?
Well, not a comeback. I'm just gonna finish my career happy. I do feel like I was cheated from that shitbag company UFC,
Mm,
and pushed out of my career. To be honest, the end of it anyway. So, but I'm I'm actually happy. I got the love for fighting again. I mean, working for that company really soured me and bittered me.
yeah.
And I was unhappy for a long, long time. I think it was like 5 years. I mean, it's been nearly 3 years now that I've been out of the country, but the last 2 or 3 years have been kind of horrible, working for those slave drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was the worst thing about working with that company then?
because they always supported the guys that cheated. They never backed the guy that did it the proper way, the hard work. They talk about martial arts like it's the way to do right things, but yet they're the guys just after money.
Yeah.
Um, they always promoted the guys and backed the guys that did the steroids and cheated, and said, they let these losers slide with that, and but they never backed the guy that did the proper way. They just backed the guys that cheated and took shortcuts.
Yeah. Yeah, because you fought the who's who, didn't you? That's the thing in that promotion.
It's actually
Um,
who's not cheating.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
funny thing about it. And what's
um,
sour for me is a lot, especially is with when they actually when that prick Dana White says he doesn't force people to fight, which is a blatant lie.
oh, really?
Yeah, I remember he forced me to fight against that cheater Alistair Overeem. Um, let me tell you a story. I told this guy the other day about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Yeah.
they wanted me to fight a guy named Josh Barnett. And Josh Barnett's a known cheater.
Mm.
So I said no to this fight, and I said they kept harping on about it, and I said, okay, listen, if you want me to fight this guy, I'll put in this clause, and the clause has to be, if he pops for anything, take off all his money. Don't give it to me. I just don't want him to make a cent,
Yeah.
because why should he?
Mm.
And they said no, fight this guy, and then he popped 2 days later. I'm like, wow, how cool is that? And then the next guy they wanted me to fight was another cheater named Alistair Overeem. I'm
Mm.
like, whoa, okay, here is a scenario again. Okay, put in my clause,
Yeah.
don't give him a cent. He shouldn't earn a cent if he pops.
Yeah.
And they said, no. But guess what they did? They sent me a letter of termination. They were going to fire my ass if I didn't fight this guy in Vegas. And I'm like,
Wow.
wow. I said, isn't that illegal?
Yeah.
so,
Surely. How
so
does that
yeah,
work as well? How does that work when you say to them, it's not even like they're going to give you the money. You're just telling them not to pay that athlete. How does that work? And then say no to that? Doesn't make sense to me.
why wouldn't they say yes? I mean,
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
they don't lose any money. I mean, the only person that loses money is the guy that's cheating,
Yeah.
which he shouldn't make a cent.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Because the bottom line is, I mean, if he'd killed me, would it be a criminal proceeding instead of a civil? I mean, if you think about it, if he
Yeah.
kills someone that's cheating, that's premeditated murder.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Because he knew there's a fight coming up. He starts cheating. He knows that. So if he kills that person, shouldn't he go to jail for life?
Yeah. Yeah. I completely. Do you know what?
Think
It's the
about it.
way. It's the way that people don't ever think about it. Weirdly enough, right? But it's true.
Well, that's what could happen. I mean, when someone drinks and he gets behind the wheel of a car,
Mm.
does he go to jail if he kills people?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Why is it any different?
I
Madness.
mean, just because just because we're fighters, we sign to fight each other. We don't sign to fight a guy that's cheating. But anyway, they forced me to fight that guy, and I said, after that, I dropped the lawsuit. I had
Yeah.
no choice. I was sick of it. They can't force people to do that, and they did. They
Mm.
said, we're going to take away your livelihood if you don't fight this guy. I'm like this. Wow, you guys are fucking motherfuckers.
Madness. Absolute madness. Um, this live stream will cut off any minute now because they limit it to an hour and we start at
Oh
11.
wow.
Do you mind if I just end this live stream and start a new live stream and we start again? Not start again, but carry on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I
is
don't
that
care.
cool? All right,
Yeah.
I'll end this one and start the next one. Thanks, Mark. Hey, Mark.
Hey.
Sorry, buddy. They stop it after an hour of it being on. So yeah, to start a new one. Sorry.
That's
Um,
okay.
yeah, do you know what? It's a way of thinking that most people don't really take into consideration. Actually, when you put it like that, it makes complete sense.
Well, there's so many different ways to look at it, to be honest, because the guy that's like every other guy that cheats, they take away the livelihood of the guys that came second place or third place, or even the guys that, for instance, Lance Armstrong,
Mm,
there was 40 of them cheating, I think there was, and the 41st person should have been the one that got all the benefits.
yeah,
Their kids should have been getting the benefits. If you look at it that way, if you want to get into depth, that's the way we should look at it. I mean, even in society, we punish cheaters by putting them in jail for doing wrong.
mm,
Why is
yeah,
sport any different?
yeah. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. I wanted to get on to from your K1 career how you got into MMA. How did that transition happen?
Well, I was I had was fighting in 2002. I got an injury, a PCL injury, um, and I was out for a year. So I came back and I think it was 2003. I was approached by a person, a lady named Yukino, and they asked me to do a MMA fight. They wanted me to fight a guy named Vegeta. I'm like this because I was running the Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like this, I was like
Mm.
Vegeta, no, no. So I said I'm Goku, as a character, but but it was actually a fighter named Vegeta that they wanted me to fight. But in the end, that's how I started with Pride and Dream.
Yeah,
The money was way better. I was making in one fight what I made in a whole year of 5 fights with K1. So I think they were battling it out for Japanese thing. But yeah, that's why I joined the Pride because I didn't know what the sport was. So I was like, because I'd already conquered K1, and I thought, you know what, I just wasn't interested anymore. I wasn't training as much.
mm.
I'd already accomplished my goal, and I wanted something else. But when Pride came along, I was like, what is this MMA shit? And I went and, I mean, they paid me to go and train with Baz Rutten, and I just kept the money and I went and trained with a guy named Steve Oliver in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was like 80 something kilos, 90, but he was quite muscly guy,
Yeah.
and he was doing something called jiu-jitsu on the ground. I was like, and I said, what is that shit? Like, and he like, come over here and I'll show you. So I spent the next fucking, I think it was 6 weeks, fucking getting knee ridden on my face, neck, throat, everything. It was like the worst 6 weeks of my life. I was like, man, this is just ridiculous. I actually learned a lot of respect for MMA in the ground. Just like that, I said, wow, I was like a fish out of water. So
Yeah.
I actually gained the respect. And if you don't actually understand about the ground, then you've got to go and actually do it to it. You'll get respect. Otherwise, they'll teach you respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So, I
that's
mean,
how I started.
did you go on to obviously from going into MMA? How did you find that mentally preparing for an MMA fight compared to K1?
It was a lot harder because I had to learn a whole new genre. I had to learn the ground, had to learn about different things about fighting. I mean, K1 was pretty much stand up, and I could get away with that
Mm.
because well, like I said, I was smoking and drinking to most of that career.
Yeah.
But you couldn't get away with that with MMA. So I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice whether I had to stop smoking and drinking and try and dedicate myself to training.
Yeah.
Because the ground, especially being at my weight, I think it was like, man, 130 something kgs, to be honest, and to roll around the ground, it's not easy. And
No.
so I gave up smoking and drinking and trying to dedicate myself to training. I mean, I was in I think I trained for my first fight against Yoshida was like 6 weeks or 8 weeks.
Mm.
Um, it was quite funny. I was at this Pride interview with that fight, and the reporters asked me, they said, Mark, can you tell us how much experience and how much groundwork have you done for this Pride match against Yoshida-san? And I was like, man, I did it about 8 hours, and I was quite proud. I was like,
Oh,
I did about 8 hours, and man, the whole room, they just started cracking up. I think the whole room, everyone just started again. They started laughing. I was like, what
why's
the
everyone
fuck, bro? What is laughing about? It was a good 8 hours. It was a great 8 hours. And they were like this, dude. Well, I actually didn't realize what they were laughing about, but then I thought about it, goes, oh, so they've done this their whole
They've done that.
lives. And
Yeah.
here's my little white belt coming around here with my fucking 8 hours. It was hilarious. It was quite funny. I just had a laugh about it. I was like, wow. I said, okay, duh.
Yeah. Did that change? Because he was a judo black belt, right, and gold medalist, wasn't he? I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, did that after that fight? Did you change your training then?
Well, it was quite because my old trainer, he was training him to fight against me. I'm like, motherfucker, because we fell out.
Yeah, I'm not
A
surprised.
fucking slimy cut. I was like,
Yeah.
this guy. Even though I like Happy is a great guy, but I was like, dude, why did you go and train that guy to fight me? I mean, fuck.
You know.
And
So
then they
you're
didn't pay him.
they didn't pay him.
Fucking and then guess who he comes running to? Fucking wankers, man. They're terrible. Anyway, I don't know.
How did your training change after that first bout then? Where did you
I
go?
I think I started going through a phase because of a lot of troubles outside of of fighting. I think it was, and I don't know if it was then I had a loss of 6 in a row. Oh, no, maybe I think I started winning some fights, but then I had a bad run of like 6 fights. But I
Yeah.
had to learn a lot of the ground. I tried a lot of training jiu-jitsu. I tried to get to find out what was, what was easy, missing a lot of things. But I think I had to bring in wrestling, which is what I missed out on. Because I
Yeah.
mean, we had the ground. I mean, I had the stand up already, but the middle bit was what I was missing. I think it was,
Yeah.
and I had to try. I had to try and figure. It took a while to figure out what was wrong with it. So but we practiced a lot of submission defense.
Mm.
And like I said, I wasn't wearing a gi. I should have. I mean, I was a white belt in trying to catch up with the black belts, and it's too late. You can't do it. So
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
especially with but you know, it's not MMA is not jiu-jitsu, to be honest. But
I
yeah,
mean, like you said about coming off sort of six losses, a lot of people that completely crushes them mentally. How
yeah.
did you find that? I mean, how did you get around that? What made you go, well, do you know what? Let's carry on anyway. A lot
The
of people just
only
retire, right? They'd give up after that.
Yeah, I don't think it came. The six losses came after that. I think it was I'd won a few fights. I got up to the point where I'd fought Fedor for the title, and then after that, when I started going through legal issues and more battles, and then I wasn't actually competing with a full
Mm.
set of hair or like mentally here. So yeah, it crushes a lot of people when they lose fights. But as a fighter, I think you've just got to you're in that hole. The only one that can help you is yourself mentally, and you've got to go and do it. And whichever, if you want to continue this journey, otherwise, you know, I always say you either stand up in the business or step to the side, or you know, I mean, it's like I said before. I mean, Mr. Miyagi says, and have you seen the Karate Kid?
Yeah, of course, yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
Mr. Miyagi he says, "Karate do, karate don't, not karate maybe."
Yeah, yeah, it's
So what
true.
he's saying, you know, you sit in the
It's
middle of the
true.
highway, you either do it or you don't. 100% either or. Otherwise, you get sitting in the middle, you get run over.
Yeah,
It's kind of simple. So yeah,
yeah. Because I come from a Brazilian jiu-jitsu background, and it was the same when I went to Brazil. They said the same to me when they said you either train every day or you don't train. Like there's no middle ground, and they were the complete
I
same.
think exactly the same. You either do it or you don't. There's no in between here.
Yeah, yeah. You don't play it, do you? Like it's not like any other sport that you play.
No.
So yeah, no, I
Yeah.
completely agree with that. Completely agree with that. So who was your favourite and best fight in MMA then in your time in MMA?
I have a lot of fights, good memories of fights, but it's not even any fight that I've had in the octagon or the ring. To be honest, I think it's the fight I'm having now at the moment with the UFC,
Yeah,
and the fight, yeah, that I'm trying to pursuing equality. Excuse me, trying to
yeah,
pursue equality in the sport. You know, I speak coming from inside their business, in the MMA business, where it's hasn't been ever been fair, to be honest.
yeah,
Um, and all these cheaters get away with everything, to be honest. And this company, this fraudulent company, just keeps promoting it. But the thing about that is, people are realizing about this company how crooked they are,
yeah,
and they're not even employees; they're just subcontractors of this company. They're only getting paid 4% of the revenue, whereas you know, Gridiron and other players, boxing, they share 40% of the revenue. So these guys are making pittance.
yeah. Nothing. What would your advice be to newcomers going into the UFC and stuff? What would your advice be to them?
Well, that's the problem. All these newcomers think, "Oh, yeah, I'll go in the US, I'll do this and that." But the truth is that you guys, I mean, when you actually make it into the top end, that's when you actually have to try and fight to get better money. I mean, you don't see any other sport. The champions of the sports are asking for more money, and we've seen plenty of UFC fighters say, "I want more money, I want this and that,"
Mm.
because the company's just ripping them off. And I said in this other interview the other day, these guys that actually own the company, they don't need bigger jets or more houses or anything.
No.
They're the ones making all the money, but yet all these fighters are dropping all their blood for this shit company. I mean, the truth is, without the fighters, this company's got nothing,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
nothing
And
at
that's
all.
what puts bums in seats, isn't it? That's the thing.
And that's what these fighters don't realize. They have, I think there's 1,200 in their roster. They're the ones that have the power. If they all said we don't want to fight, what is the UFC going to do?
Mm.
They're not
Yeah,
going to get
exactly.
anyone else. Who are they going to get? No one's going to support them. And for all the supporters of these fighters that they want to support their favorite fighters, the only way the best to support them is by not supporting the UFC, because when you pay-per-view some fights, you're not giving the fighter their money. Only the champions get a percentage of their pay-per-view, and they're probably only getting 50 cents. So
Bloody hell.
the only people those supporters of pay-per-view is those rich motherfuckers like Mark Wahlberg, the Venus Williams sister, Tony Robbins, all these cocksuckers that know what's going on. They should know what's going on in their company, but they don't give a fuck because they want bigger planes, bigger jets, bigger everything.
Yeah, of course.
All
Yeah.
the
How much
fans should just
involvement do they
work.
actually have in that company?
Yeah. Do they even care? The thing is, they
Yeah.
need to just, all the fans that support them shouldn't support the UFC. So, you know what? I support my favorite fighter, but I won't support the UFC. They're fucking crooked motherfuckers. They don't give a cent to these fucking fighters. The fighters are making more from personal sponsorships than what they're getting now. Well, what is the gaming percentage? And that's it.
Is that's an interesting point actually? Because I remember when the Reebok came in, a lot of fighters weren't happy about that because obviously their sponsors weren't going to be able to be on there anymore. How did that affect you personally?
Well, the thing is, I didn't really get much sponsorships about it, but the sponsorships, the fighters get more than their purses and sponsorships. But in order to get, when Reebok came in, when you wanted a sponsor, the sponsors that wanted to sponsor you had to pay them. They had to give them like 100,000, the UFC $100,000 first before they gave you money. And who the fuck is a big enough company to do that?
Not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen.
That ain't gonna happen. I
And
mean, fuck,
you got nothing from Reebok. So you didn't get
they,
anything
they,
for the
they,
Reebok.
they paid money, but it was like $10,000, $15,000 a year or something. It's rubbish.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, why
nothing.
would you want the facade that the UFC put out for the fighters that go into their company is you're gonna make millions, this and that. That's a load of horseshit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You, as soon as you get to the top, you'd be struggling to make even fucking $100,000.
How much
These
do you
guys
reckon they
are
were making from Reebok as a business?
in 2003. I don't know about Reebok. They would have been making millions. I mean, in 2003, I think, or 2004, they were $1 billion company.
Yeah.
They're, and it's 2020 right now.
Yeah.
They've made way bigger deals, and where's I mean the media and that shit to MMA. So why are the UFC fighters or MMA fighters getting paid fuck all?
Yeah, it makes no sense, does it?
We know why, and the problem is, and it's going to keep happening and continue to keep happening, you know, unless we bring in the Ali Act or bring in. This is the lawsuit. The other lawsuit I'm with is trying to bring in the Ali Act
Yeah,
so these
yeah.
fighters get a fair deal. I mean, right now they're getting screwed, and they'll continue to get screwed until things change. I was talking to this other person about this interview, and they were saying, "How do we fix this, Mark?" And I said, "That's really easy. It's
Yeah.
really easy. The fighters can, if they just grow some balls, and all of them said, you know, I know I got mortgage, I got this to pay, but I'll never see the bigger purses or anything until I say I'm not going to fight with this company anymore.
Yeah.
They're gonna sue all of the roster if they all said no.
Yeah, yeah, true. True. How they
Things
gonna
are,
be able to put events on?
they won't
What's
be
the
able to.
likelihood of that happening though? That's the problem, isn't it? What's the likelihood of that happening?
Because that's why nothing's going to change if these fighters don't change it themselves. They're going to continue to get screwed, continue to make pittance money, go get their fucking faces punched in for what? For jack shit.
For
They didn't
entertainment.
even
Yeah,
have.
that's it.
They
Yeah.
didn't even get looked after the fights. They're only fucking subcontractors. They're not even employees, man.
Yeah, that's mental. That's mental. I mean,
It's not mental.
like
It's true. Fuck,
you
it's true.
mentioned about the game. Do they not even pay you for having you feature on their game?
They pay you for the game, but not even the royalties. They stop at a certain point. But it's like I said that they're getting the fighters are sharing what I was told before when I think it was 4%. It's 4% of what? The total revenue for everyone to share? Fuck, that's a ripoff.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
said, the only one making money out of this company is the guys that own it, which is how it should work. But they're not even sharing anything with the star of the show. The star of the show is whoever they want to be. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
look at the packet difference between Conor McGregor and everyone else. Everyone else is in fucking still in. I mean, you're talking to the guy who's one of the highest earning with them, and I didn't even win the title.
yeah,
That's a laugh.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
How is that?
yeah,
How does that happen? Because I just wanted more money. I couldn't live like this, paycheck to paycheck. And I think all the fans need to support by just saying we love this very much, but we're not going to support this company because they don't
yeah,
even support our fighters. And the
yeah,
fighters should all just say, you know what, fuck you guys, aren't giving us jack shit. We're not slaves. We're not going to fight for your shit company until we want the Ali Act board and we want different, we want benefits, we want everything. And things
yeah.
will change real quick because the UFC can't do fuck all. They ain't going to do shit. They can't do shit.
No, no, of course not.
Because
Um,
what are they gonna do without the fighters?
yeah, well, nothing. Yeah, they can't put events on, can they?
You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do
Did nothing.
nothing.
So what other MMA promotions would you suggest for like the younger generation coming in to go and fight for?
Yeah, I mean, the UFC have got the main spotlight, but I mean, everyone just wants to be a part of the UFC. But the facade of them giving them millions and millions of dollars is people are starting to realize that they're full of shit.
Yeah.
People are starting to realize because the fighters are growing some balls and starting to speak up about it. And I'm not one to talk from sitting on the outside. I'm one that I've already been in there. I've been in that fucking rubbish company and I walked out the other end. And
Mm.
they took away my love for it because they just pushed me out of it. Like I said, you know what? We're going to side with these guys like Brock Lesnar, these cheaters, because we want to
Yeah.
sell our company because we want these guys that people want to see. Not you. You're just fucking the numbers. But I'm like, hey man, I didn't cheat. I just came to work. I showed up. I put my shit on, and why are you siding with that guy? That guy's a cheat. Why do you even give that guy passes for these cheaters? Why do they move guys like a show in a week for dickheads like John Jones who take shortcuts?
Yeah.
How do they consider these guys the best fighters in the world? When you get to the top of MMA, the fucking UFC ain't the place. They're the only one that got. They're just garbage.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like you said, they
Garbage.
got such a massive stigma about them. It's where everyone wants to go, right?
Yeah, but people think they're going to get looked after. You're not.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you from experience. I just told you that I'm one of the highest earning for that stupid company, and guess what? I didn't even hold the belt.
Yeah.
You got hardworking guys like Stipe, all these honest DC, all these guys actually were the champion, and they should be making triple of what I made or quadruple. But
But they
it's
just didn't
just
step in and ask for it. Then this is the
it's
thing, isn't it?
disappointing. It's
Mm.
disappointing, and it just takes away your love of what it took. They took away my love of fighting. They forced me to fight. They sided with the steroid cheaters. You know, I've
Mm.
still got 2 lawsuits against these motherfuckers, and people say I'm bitter about it. Well, who wouldn't be bitter?
Yeah.
You never get a fair go in a fight.
And
Um, I'll
you're
take
still pursuing with the lawsuits then, the two that you're
Yeah,
saying.
of course,
Yeah.
still am. I mean, I'll take the losses where I get them.
Mm.
It's just that it was never a fair fight.
Yeah.
And people say that's the sport, Mark. That's sport with this and bullshit. That's just you
Mm.
guys letting them do that because you're weak. They don't want to stand up and speak. Because I don't want to support fucking cheating company. Why should I?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
support cheaters in the real world, and why should I support them in MMA? It's even worse.
So finding your love again for the sport, like you said,
It's taking me 2 years,
yeah,
nearly 2.5, 3 years. I haven't been fighting for that. I've been out of the company for that long. I mean, I've got a couple of things lined up. I want to finish my career happy. I've got to make some money.
yeah.
Got to pay for this lawsuit if I lose. These scumbags are just fucking criminals.
Mm. Well, finding that love again, where would you like to go fight next?
I've already signed for a local match here in my home of Australia. Looking forward to competing in this different and doing this, and then hopefully try and end up in Japan.
Oh, awesome, awesome. And where are you
Yeah.
training out of? You still out of American Top Team, or are you going to be doing?
No, I've been in home for a long time. I'm actually in a place called Newcastle in Australia, just outside of Sydney. So I'm just up here training. Wow, I hurt my back, so I'm just chilling. Everyone's in this COVID virus
Yeah,
mode, and you just got to be careful. But I'm
yeah,
always happy and able and willing to spread the truth about the UFC, and I'll keep doing it. They're gonna, hopefully, my case goes to trial. I'd like to really see what they're hiding in their closets.
yeah, yeah.
Really fix them up. They're just fucking criminals, man.
Mm. Well, I mean, I don't know if you can say who is your next match up against then.
Ah, yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't really matter. I mean, right now everyone's worried about the virus, the corona Chinese virus, or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
And that's pretty much all we should try and get rid of before we start everything else. But there's who knows what's going on with the truth with all of that shit. So
and how are you? Are you training at home? Are you doing anything at home to keep yourself active, or just relaxing?
yeah, usual stuff. Riding, training over here.
Yeah,
Got to keep active these days, man. Fuck
yeah,
you,
you
man.
got
Especially
to.
at 46. Yeah.
What would your advice be to people that are in a lockdown at the moment? Because there's a lot of depression coming around this time of year because of obviously everything that's happening with the restrictions of people being able to do
Dude,
stuff.
I mean, I think, man, there's so much bad stuff going on. I mean, lots of people lost their jobs, lots of businesses going down. It's trying really hard in trying times, man. I think you just got to keep up and try and survive. Man, it's hard times for everybody. I mean, to be honest.
Mm.
I mean, what else can I say? I mean, I'm like everyone else. We're just rolling with the punches, man. Just got to keep going. That's how it
Yeah.
is. I don't know how long this thing's gonna last, and I mean, hopefully it doesn't last too long because, man, people are gonna start pulling out their gats and start going around fucking shooting people. It's fucking, shit'll go crazy these days.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know.
Man, it's having a massive knock-on effect to all major companies, isn't it? This is the thing.
Well, it's not going to affect the big companies, but all the smaller ones, people's actually, there's a lot of them have closed. I mean, our businesses, our gyms, I mean, one of them was supposed to even open, and it didn't even get to open. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, three of our businesses didn't, actually, no, two of them didn't get to open. It's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah.
But, I just hope everyone stays safe and have to try our best these days. It's trying times, who knows? It might be, we might hear the trumpets coming out of the sky, man. It might be the end times, who knows?
Hunger Games.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
mate. Mark,
You know about it,
I just want to say thank you for coming on, mate, and sharing your time with us, and yeah, giving us
Always
the
a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. And I'm always going to keep doing all the podcasts, especially and try and spreading the truth about the UFC and all these and the kids that want to go into the sport. They need to realize that what they can see is not always the truth. What people try to make out like the UFC try to make it out like just a great company. You get paid well, this and that.
Mm.
It's a facade,
Yeah,
and you've
yeah,
got only the certain few will make great money. It seems like you've got to actually be a cheater to be in that company and try and make some money.
yeah.
Because I mean, how the fuck is it going to get any better? I mean, it's not going to get better for these fighters in the near future at all, unless they change it themselves, and they have the power to do it. No
Mm.
one else has the power but them. If they all just hit together, I don't want to fight for this company. I don't want to fight you guys that aren't even looking after us.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah. Well, mate, thank you so much for giving us that insight as well
Appreciate
into
it.
the UFC. Thank you for this
All
time.
right, man.
Take care.
See ya.
Cheers, buddy.